Are your between the toes dry? Right. Then again, ears is one of the ways how you can recognize a fairy creature. They usually have some kind of funny ears. And if you look at their toes, then apparently they wear no shoes, which is another fairy thingy. Right. Jellicle cats are white and black. Jellicle cats are of moderate size. Jellicle cats jump like a jumping jack. Or Jellicle cats jump like a jumping jack. Jellicle cats jump like a jumping jack. Jellicle cats have moonlit eyes. So black and white. Now white and black. Is it any different?
Different, but maybe when you look at different skulls, so like in the previous lines, you were like the Jellicle cats are rather small and they are black and white, so we saw one group of cats. I might suggest that there were more black cats than white, and now we see another group of cats. And these cats, they are of moderate size, and they are white and black. And probably there are the majority white and the minority black.
Okay, so what happens here? I'll tell you because I know. It may be not true, but I'll tell you anyway, because that's all the Gnomic tell me. Black and white changes to white and black. So first we see them in the night and the moonlight, and most of what we see is black and some white. Again, we don't understand them, they're black, unknown black, with a bit of white, a little bit, we can understand them. Now we know them a bit better. Now first what we see is white. We know more about them. They're more white, they are brighter, they're not so scary as they could be in the beginning, if they were. Also, it's the same cats, the same fairies, but like all fairies, they're not constant, they're changing all the time. They're flowing, they're changing shape, they're changing colors, they're not fixed like humans. So when you deal with a fairy, then what you look is what you are. What you are is what you look like. So they don't have any specific fixed appearance. Black and white is the same as white and black, and it's not the same as white and black. You know what I mean? They're turning. It's a little bit like, I don't know, what can I tell you? Like you take a cup and turn it into a donut. It's the same figure. You look at it from a different angle, for instance. So they cross to some other dimension, you may say. You see them differently, but they're the same. Moderate size, again, rather small. They're not too big, we have the word big, they're bigger. Now moderate size, even bigger, apparently. Moderate is not small, not big, but it's bigger than just small. So they're growing, they change size as well, again, a fairy thing. Changing appearance, changing size, more or less the same, but at the same time different. moderate again. They're not wild, they're moderate, they're not that scary. They're dancing, they're going to dance a gavotte and a jig, but so far they're moderate, they behave themselves. But then they jump like a jumping jack. What is it?
Getting wilder and wilder.
It's like when you jump, it's like you're imitating the sea star.
So now they start jumping. Jumping is not dancing. Basically, but a jumping jack, what's a jumping jack? Well, jumping jack. Jack is like a very magical name because it's really common. It's really common because it's really magical. So jumping jack is a kind of an exercise you can do at school for jumping, obviously, just physical exercise, and it's a toy. When you pull a string and it moves, jumping jack. So they jump like a jumping jack. Obviously jump like a jumping jack. It's not about words, it's more about the sound. They start moving, they start jumping. Jellicle cats have moonlit eyes, so jump like a jumping jack is a bit silly and it's connected with like toys and it's funny. But then you have moonlit eyes and the whole air turns upside down and suddenly what was funny and silly becomes more solemn, more interesting, more serious maybe, more magical. Because if you have moonlit eyes and they're black, what is it? What is it?
What is it?
So they look funny, they may look funny, and that's what the gnomic are. They look really funny and silly and not serious at all. But there's some really, really deep magic in what they're doing, not what they're doing. It's the fool who has the magic. If you have the magic, then you're bound to be the fool, to play the fool. I don't know why. Maybe you do. If you have this real deep magic, then why do you play the fool?
Because you can afford it.
Because you can afford it? Any more ideas? Again, Harry Potter, Albus Dumbledore, who is like the greatest wizard of all times, or maybe not all times, but recent times. And he plays the fool too. He makes silly speeches, he shows little respect to like people in authority, and he knows when to pay respect to like kids, creatures. The first time you see him, you may think he's just a crazy old man. How? Why? Why do they jump like a jumping jack, making fools of themselves? But then you see their eyes, and their moonlit eyes, as the eyes do not lie. And you stop, and you ask yourself, why are they playing the fool? Why are they playing the fool? All those people, beings, creatures who have power, a real power, why do they play the fool? Why do they jump like a jumping jack, which is really stupid and silly, when they can dance or something really magical, a dance which changes the universe maybe? Why? So your one answer is because they can afford it. Okay. Do you have any more ideas?
they saw cats and cats ate them.
Mm-hmm.
What's that?
Okay, they're cats and they jump. If you could see my cat jumping, it's really weird. Like a little rabbit.
So instead of pretending to be very cultured species, they are now jumping wildly, just the way the cats do. But are they just cats, or are they more than cats?
Well,
or
we
are
know
they
they're more than cats.
not cats?
We know they're more than cats. And they do, we don't know what cats are, to start with, in our reality. We don't know what a table is, or what a, well, anything which is languageable is, because the second we language it, we kill it in a little way, so we can't know it. So apparently we can either know it or language it. We can't have both. So are they cats? Are they not cats? What is cat to start with? But obviously they have some connection because they're Jellicle Cats. That's in the spell, in the word. So. But why are they making themselves fools? Why does Albus Dumbledore make himself a fool?
Well, they like enjoying things. They, again, they know how powerful they are if they are magical. They know that they might bring joy to others by jumping wildly, because we are usually amazed at seeing cats doing all their tricks. But they might also want to deceive us. They might want to appear like, well, sort of normal cats that are not big, that perform their washing duties dutifully, and that jump wildly, and then we are not on our guard, and then something happens.
Yeah, that could be one of the ways, yeah, one of the reasons. So pretending to be just normal cats and washing behind their ears, could be. Or maybe because that's how they feel. As you can say, they can afford it, or they just express what they feel. Or maybe if you really have the magic, the power, then you can't stay too serious about yourself, then you'll be just too heavy for it. Maybe it will kill you even. Like they say in Doctor Who, the TV series, in Doctor Who, there's no point in being grown up if you can't be childish sometimes. Yeah, there's no point in being a grown up if you can't be childish at times. Because,
and again, there might be something about self-irony.
It is, like not being too self-important. It's essential.
Yeah.
The second you start, oh, I'm the wise old man, I'm like Merlin. Well, what do you know about Merlin anyway? I'm a wise old man, I'm so important and wise. Well, then you just die, basically. Apparently. Maybe. So, but the eyes never lie. They make themselves look like fools, like silly little jumping jacks. But the second you see their eyes, they're ancient, they're moonlit. They're not from this world. Moonlit. They're quiet enough in the morning hours. Well, not my cats. Well, they're quiet enough in the afternoon. Little elephants. Reserving their terpsichorean powers to dance by the light of the Jellicle moon. So we talk about dancing again. So we had, they practice the airs and graces in the first stanza. Or we had just generally the ball in the introduction. Practice the airs and graces. Then they know how to dance a gavotte and a jig, more specifically. And now we talk about dancing again. They're quite enough in the morning hours, they're quite enough in the afternoon. So here, times of the day become different dimensions, different realities again. And each has its own energy, power, vibration. So the morning hours, no, they're quiet. Enough. Not entirely. Enough. They're quite enough in the afternoon. Afternoon, still not the night time. And we can see how time passes slowly from hour to hour, from morning hours, hour to hour to hour to another hour. Like in Shakespeare, from hour to hour, they ripe and ripe. And then it's afternoon, reserving their terpsichorean powers to dance by the light of the Jellicle moon. Again, the idea is the same. They wait for the Jellicle moon, and meanwhile they practice, they make their toilet, they get ready, they get relaxed, they're waiting. How is this line different or not different? Does it develop the idea in any way when they say reserving their terpsichorean powers to dance by the light of the Jellicle moon?
That we should know something about who Terpsichore is or was.
Yeah. Do we know? Oh, it's like common knowledge, really.
Is it?
Because it is.
Okay, so who she is?
Alexandra? Alexandra, are you with us?
Yeah, here.
So, do you know anything about the terpsichorean powers?
Well, I do know that
It's one of the goddess of art, yeah?
yeah.
Who is responsible for dancing, isn't she?
Yeah.
One of the muses.
Mm-hmm. Very amusing.
So, yeah, so probably it's also some kind of, you said that they practice, so that's a skill. If you look at Greek mythology and theater uses, so there's this opinion that if muse come to you and you have some kind of state of inspiration given from above, as kind of some kind of divine enlightenment. So it seems here a little bit like this. So they dance and they dance in the ball, they sing, they create the art, but not because they are skilled as cats, but because they have something from above, some kind of magical power inside them.
Yeah, so like magical power, divine inspiration, terpsichorean.
Yeah. And it's very important that these powers, they come with the Jellicle moon. So if there wasn't a Jellicle moon, they wouldn't have this power.
Sergey?
Well, I only know that it relates to dance.
Okay, we know something else. We know something else. Even if we don't know any like details, we don't know it, we don't need it. But if you say terpsichorean, you create a certain background, certain connection, certain energy. You bring in the muses, all of the ancient mythology, all of this ancient magic, and you say that art is more than just practicing. It needs some inspiration. We have the word power here, because now we say it openly that they have some magical powers, terpsichorean powers, and the terpsichore is a muse, a goddess, so divine powers, spiritual powers. Reserving their terpsichorean powers to dance by the light of the Jellicle moon. So it's the same as you look at them jumping like a jumping jack, and then suddenly you see their eyes are moonlit. Or you look at them, they're quiet, but then you look at them in the eyes of their heart, let's say, or spirit, and you see terpsichorean powers. So they look quiet, but really inside they're full of this magic, which is activated by the light of the Jellicle moon. Again, the word light. It's light. It's not evil. It's light. And the terpsichorean, again, is kind of revealing, because it's a clever word. They look simple. They look funny, but deep inside, or not so deep inside, but really, truly, they're more complex than they seem to be. Because you wouldn't think that a jumping jack would use a word like terpsichorean. Yeah. So there's a really interesting and a good animated film, The Last Unicorn. Have you seen it?
No.
It's kind of old, not awfully old. It's really good. So you may find and watch it. And the plot is there's a wizard, I think, and he doesn't like unicorns, who are really magical creatures, and he has a big bull to keep all the unicorns in the sea. And one unicorn has escaped, and she was just about being killed by that bull. But at the last second, a young wizard turns her into a lady, a human lady, and the bull is only interested in unicorns. So she still has a mark between her eyebrows, where her horn used to be, and her eyes are like full of magic if you look into them. So they travel together for a while, and they come to a castle where a big wizard lives. And he knows that this girl is really a unicorn, because when he looks into her eyes, he can see it. So it's a very good cartoon. You can find and watch it. Very interesting. So it's the same here. They're quiet enough in the morning hours. They're quiet enough in the afternoon. They look just nice and quiet. But really, in their eyes, you can see the terpsichorean powers. Okay, The Last Unicorn. Jellicle cats are black and white, so they're turning again. Black and white, white and black white. Now they kind of, again, not fixed in their appearance. The same, but not the same, and turning. Jellicle cats, as I said, are small. Again, they grow bigger, and then they're back to the beginning, they're small again. They keep changing. And it's funny, like, as I said, it's a nice remark. If it happens to be a stormy night, they will practice a caper or two in the hall. If it happens the sun is shining bright, you would say it had nothing to do at all. They are resting and saving themselves to be right for the Jellicle moon and the Jellicle ball. What about the stormy night and the sunlit day? Any comments? Okay.
Well, in literature or in poetry or in plays, it is quite usual if there is a stormy night or it's kind of some kind of bad weather outside, something will happen inside. So they will process the put it in the hole, so they have their own hole where they can hold the ball. And if it happens the sun is shining bright, you will say it's nothing to do at all. So I think we understand that their time when they rain, they can have their ball with the night. Let's call the night. If it's a sunny day, the magic goes away, and they became just cats.
Yeah, maybe just cats. So yeah, I agree. The time is the night, and the day is when the magic is hidden. So even if the weather is good, but it's the day, it still doesn't matter. It's better if it's the night, even if it's stormy. So you can look at it at like art and inspiration, in which night time is a night of inspiration, time of inspiration, and the sunny day is when everything is too practical, maybe too obvious, too straightforward. Also, night obscures. Night makes adds another dimension, and the world is literally different at night. If you had been up all night, or if you had been out in the night, you would notice that the world is completely different at night. It feels different, it is different. So let's say if it happens to be a stormy night with clouds, so you don't really see the moon, so it's better if you have a little inspiration, then you do some a caper or two in the hall. Maybe you don't create a masterpiece, or you practice your magic in whatever way is suitable for you at the moment. But if there's no inspiration, if the sun is shining bright and just too blank, then rather than going and dancing without inspiration, we should have no magic in it. It's better to look lazy. You're not lazy. You're just not doing what you're not supposed to do. Because if you dance in the sun, it will be a dead dance. There would be no magic in it. Yeah, again, it's something you would say they had nothing to do at all. Again, it's deep in the Western culture how time is money, and if you do nothing, then it's bad, then you're lazy, you're wasting your time, you will die soon, and you're not doing anything. But sometimes it's very important that you do not do anything, rather than do something which is lifeless. What do you say?
Well, it's certainly true. Night is often the time when great poets compose their great poems.
Yeah, because they're too busy through the day, usually.
Well,
and not
yes.
because it's such a special time. Maybe.
Well, I don't know. Because it's also,
No, night is not like physical night. Night not like physical night, because if you're an artist, you create at any time of the day. It doesn't matter at all. You get your inspiration, you go out, you go in, you stay where you are, it doesn't matter. You create. The night is, again, it's a mythological space. It's all inside you. The night as the time of magic and inspiration, and the day is like time of no magic and inspiration, the time to be practical, maybe. It's not related to physical day and night. So what is interesting here is the word bright. So we had the moon is bright, the cats are bright, their eyes are bright, and now it's the sun is bright. The Jellicle moon is shining bright, Jellicles come to the Jellicle ball, and now if it happens the sun is shining bright, you could say it's the same, that's shining bright, but there's a world of difference. We come through the poem and the moon becomes the sun. The moon is hiding behind the sun. If it happens the sun is shining bright, it's looking at it from the kind of negative perspective. So you tell us what happens when the moon is bright, what happens when the sun is bright. Is it the same? And they say, no, it's completely different, it's opposite. So the moon has its power and the sun has its power. So shining bright is like showing its power. Shining, giving its light, giving its radiance, being in power. So when the sun is in power, then it's time for some other kind of magic, and not the Jellicle magic. And we go through it, and it's like, oh no, we have lost it. Our magic is lost. Shining bright, the moon became the sun. Now there's no magic which we could use. Oh no! But they're resting and saying themselves to be right, again to be right, because they're not going to waste all their energy on the sun, because it's not really their time. For the Jellicle moon and the Jellicle ball. Oh, the moon is back! The Jellicle ball is back, just when we thought we had lost it. So it's a happy end. Comments? Comments? So from our human, stupid, silly, idiotic perspective, daylight when the sun is shining bright is preferable to a stormy night, to a moonlit night in general. But it won't do for the real magic. And again, you would say they had nothing to do at all. You look at them from your human perspective. Say, oh, they're not doing anything, they're just lazy. But they're not lazy, they're not doing. Not doing is a very powerful form of action. Not doing takes much more energy, intention, power to perform than doing. Maybe. Or maybe they had nothing to do at all, nothing and all. Again, come one, come all, and the word all comes back, whole, nothing to do at all. We come back to the beginning. They have no thing to do. You can't do no thing in the day, which is a space of thing. Hello. Was it a bird? How absurd. It looked like a wagtail. I might be wrong. That's a gnomicky. No. Yeah, so they have no thing to do. And you can't do no thing in the space of thing, which is the day in this poem, broad daylight. You can only do no thing in the space of no thing, which is the night. So from your point of view, your is like the daylight position. Your point of view, they have nothing to do. from their point of view, they have no thing to do. So they're waiting for it. For the Jellicle moon and the Jellicle ball. Comments, please.
Well, I a little bit disagree with you because for me, maybe because I know the musical, maybe because for me it changes my perception a little bit. For me, it's very straightforward. Jellicle Cats, they do have night and they do have the day. So if you look a little bit from the perspective of the musical, they have like they have this night once in a certain amount of time. I don't remember this precise time. Maybe once a year. Maybe
well, what's important is it one time.
Yeah,
it's a special event.
One time. Yeah, and they all prepare for this event. Like a lot of times they get prepared, and they have one chance to perform their song and talk about themselves. And that happens during the night. But during the day, they can be lazy, they can be homeless, they can be different, and we might think that they have nothing to do, but actually they, as you said, they're saving themselves for the ball.
Yeah, which is also true. Yeah, but you understand it's about death. It's how you what you practice for. What you practice is what you get, and if you're kind of let's say a shaman, it doesn't have to be that word. It doesn't matter. Let's say for the argument's sake, if you're a shaman, then what is important for you is the way you die, the way you meet your death, because that sums up all your life. The way the person dies sums up their death. Not how they die in the sense, did he die in an accident or did he die in his bed, although maybe that's also important, maybe, but how the person meets her death. Do you look in the face? Do you run away? Do you beg for mercy? Do you get frightened? Do you take it cool? How you get it is who you are is the most important thing, and that's what you get ready for. You prepare all your life, whether you notice or not, whether you know about it or not. All you do, every word you say, every move you make, everything, every thought, is how you prepare yourself to meet your own death. And obviously it's that one big event which happens once in your, is it life or death? Is it once in your life when you die? Or is it not life anymore? Anyway, that's this big ball in the night where you tell death the story of your life. That is what happens. And many people believe, I'm not saying it's true, not true, how would I know? I would have no idea. But there's this idea that if you had a real life which was yours and not just doing whatever you are told, if you have personality and individuality and you have found me-ness, the me-ness of me, then you kind of go on, because otherwise, if there's no me-ness in your me, then there's no you, then you just disappear. Well, I don't like this idea, but maybe that's it. Maybe that's why they're so frantic about it. Because that is the song that you sing. It's the song of your life as you die. And then death listens to it. and decides whether it likes it or not. That's a big ball. That's what we all get ready for. Like I said, there is a kind of a creepy side to this poem. I've just invented it, but still. Timey-wimey. Comments?
Oh, I don't know.
Well, you will someday. We all will. Alexandra?
Well, for me, again, because I in the musical.
Well, the musical is again an adaptation.
It is an adaptation, yeah, but for me, it's still the celebration of life and of this type of well, that people say that cats they have 9 lives, but maybe they have even more, and they can recreate. Recreation. So for me, this is a lot about the celebration of life and the celebrating their past life, their future life, and their current life. So.
Yeah. So anytime you meet death, it's really a celebration of life. It's true. Yeah. Anything else? 3, 2, 1. No? Okay. And we can finish on this happy note.